Welcome to Leading in the Age of AI, a podcast and platform where you will learn to lead without burnout, integrate AI without losing your voice, and become who the future requires.
This week, we are going to be talking about the new leadership power skill, and that is trust, and why trust matters more than ever before in this age of AI. Hello, and welcome back to Leading in the Age of AI, where we dive into human first and future ready. I'm Laurie Hawkins, your host, and today I really want to dive into a discussion around something that I believe is becoming one of the most important leadership skills of our time. And interestingly, it is not a technical skill. It's not about AI literacy, it's not about productivity, and it's not even a strategy. It's one word: it's trust. There is this power skill that trust is, that no one is really teaching right now. It's like we just believe it should be there. And yet, if we really started learning more about it, understanding it on the body level, it actually changes everything in leadership, in business, in relationships, and yes, even in how we move through this rapidly changing world of AI. And yet, we are in a trust deficit. If I really pause and reflect, I don't think that people are exhausted simply because the world is moving so fast, and it is. I think people are exhausted because trust feels harder than ever. Trust in systems, trust in institutions, for sure, trust in what used to feel stable. And so, beneath all of the noise, people are asking this deeper question: who can I trust now? What can I trust now? And that's the conversation that we are having here today. And if you've been feeling the weight of uncertainty with your teams and your business, or even just in yourself, I really want you to know that you are not alone. And that's why we've started this podcast. The trust economy has arrived. I was reading recently an article that was written, part of my reinvention community, and it really stopped me in my tracks because it talked about this, what is being called kind of quiet relocation of trust. And if I think about it, that's exactly what I know I've been feeling. And I think so many of us are feeling because for so long we were taught that we could trust the institutions around us. We could trust major corporations. We could trust the news for the most part. We could trust people's titles and credentials. And it didn't just happen overnight that this has started to erode, but it's become very evident recently that it's a massive problem. We've always been able to look outward, but what we're witnessing now is that trust is moving closer. People are trusting what feels real. It's now part of the feeling conversation. So we more trust the immediate circle we have around us, or the team that we work so closely with, or maybe our direct leader or our colleagues, the people that we actually go shoulder to shoulder with every day. So in the past, trust was wider, but now it's becoming closer. And this really matters because we're moving away from that almost authority-based trust in some ways to a deeply relational connection to trust. We are moving from any sort of institutional authority to full relational authority. This breaks things apart in a new way. It means that your title is no longer enough. Your position is no longer enough. Your expertise alone is no longer enough. People want to know, can I trust your presence? Can I trust your consistency? Can I trust that what you say and what you do actually match. This is why trust is the new power skill. Because in times of volatility, people don't follow certainty, they follow steadiness. They follow people that actually align deeply to who they say they are. And trust is actually built in the micro moments of trust, of tiny little micro moments that add to it. It's how you communicate, it's how you show up, it's how you respond when things are uncertain. It's how safe people feel in your leadership. I've been almost shocked lately how many times I've used the word safety in my conversations with leaders. I can tell you a year ago, that is not a word I used in conversations with leaders. Definitely never a decade ago. And now, almost every conversation I'm having with a leader, we're somehow getting into the importance of safety. This ties into that whole identity evolution piece, which we are going to continue to unravel together. I'm wondering if this resonates with you. I often think when I talk about trust, about Stephen Covey and the trust bank account, which was one of the first bodies of work that I studied when I actually got into leadership decades ago. So, thinking about the trust economy right now has immediately brought me back to his body of work around the concept of the emotional bank account. This is one of the most timeless leadership teachings. I can't believe how often I refer back to it still. But Covey taught that every relationship functions like a bank account. Every interaction is either a deposit or a withdrawal. And I think this framework is more relevant now than ever because I think about deposits, they look like keeping your word, following through, listening deeply, owning your mistakes, being honest early, communicating clearly, showing consistency. Where withdrawals look like overpromising, disappearing, lack of clarity, emotional inconsistency, avoiding hard conversations, saying one thing and doing another. And in leadership, those withdrawals compound quickly, especially right now, because people are more sensitive than ever to misalignment. They can truly feel when leadership is performative. They can feel when communication is polished versus real. And they can absolutely feel when AI or automation is creating more distance instead of more connection. This is where trust becomes a strategic advantage, not because it's soft. And I wish we'd never titled things like this as soft, because it changes execution. Teams move faster when trust is high. Innovation rises when trust is high. People take risks when trust is high. Energy stays available when trust is high. Trust is not a nice to have. It is a necessary part of every infrastructure, every business, every team. So, I want to speak directly to the leaders listening right now. If it feels like the people around you are carrying more than ever, you are right. You are not imagining it. I've been hearing this from so many high achieving leaders and teams right now. People who usually hold it all together, people who are incredibly capable. Yet, right now, there is this deeper fatigue that I've never seen before. It's a nervous system fatigue, it's decision fatigue, it's an emotional fatigue. People are craving steadiness, not perfection, not having the answers, not like needing that certainty, but needing steadiness. Sometimes leadership right now simply means becoming a place where trust can land, a place where people can breathe and be themselves, a place where they know they don't have to perform. Seems like a good time for us to jump into our reset minute. So today we are going to do the trust reset because before trust happens in teams, it happens in the body. This is why safety is a part of the conversation. So let's take a moment, place both of your feet on the floor, drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, take a slow breath in, and an even longer breath out. Again, inhale and exhale longer. Now ask yourself, where am I gripping right now? Where am I holding control? Where am I trying to perform leadership instead of embody it? Now, place one hand on your chest and simply say, I do not need to brace to lead. One more breath. Trust starts when the body no longer feels it must protect at all times. And that begins with you. Now back to the show. Let's step into this week's AI lab. Question I'm wondering, reflecting on, can AI build trust? This week, I wanted to test something that sits right at the intersection of human leadership and technology. So I wondered, could AI actually help build trust? And as I worked through the week, the answer became yes, and yes, if used consciously. So the experiment was simple. I used AI to improve leadership communication, not to replace it, but to improve it. So I want you to play with this. Take an important team communication or client communication or any other communication and ask AI to help improve the clarity. You could ask it to make the tone warmer. You could ask it to ensure that it's not ambiguous. You could ask it to make sure the message feels human, direct, emotionally congruent. And when I played with it in this way, what I found was AI increased the clarity. So that is the standard we want to work towards. And if AI creates that clarity, then it's actually going to elevate trust because through clarity, we gain trust. If it helps you communicate more clearly, more consistently, and with more emotional intelligence, then trust can rise. So, this is where human first leadership matters, that AI is not the leader, you are. AI is the amplifier. So it amplifies that clarity or it amplifies removing confusion and therefore it amplifies trust. And then it amplifies disconnection. So that's what we played with in the lab. I want you to play with it this week and see what you find out and let us know what you think. Is there a situation where you saw that it actually increased the ability to build trust? So now back to the show. So in closing, I want us to look at 3 trust deposits this week that you can make. And so the 3 trust deposits that I want you to focus on this week is number 1, keep one small promise. I'm not asking for something big. I'm saying choose one small thing that you can commit to and follow through on because trust is built through consistency. Number two, communicate earlier than feels comfortable. Silence, especially with our teams, allows them to create stories. We love to be meaning makers. We love to make stories. Whereas clarity creates trust. And number three, ask one more human question. How are you really doing? What feels heavy for you right now? What support do you need from me? Questions like that. Because trust is built in those micro moments. And the leaders who rise in this era, they won't be the loudest. They will be the most trusted. So trust is your new power skill, and it changes everything. Thank you so much for being here with me, for exploring trust. And as always, human first, future ready, and I'll see you next week.